and welcome to Movie Reviews by South of Normal with your host, me, Michael Soren. Today we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. I just got out of the theater, and oh my god, was I delighted as ever. It didn't live up, it didn't exceed the hype that's it's been given. It met the hype. It didn't differentiate itself from the first one enough. You know, it really felt like the first one just told again. You could say that for the Star Wars sequels, they're all the same trilogy told just the same way. But it was just the same. It felt like the same story told again, just with different tribes. Nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's been 12 years since Avatar came out, and we're back on Pandora, folks. I'm trying not to go too much into it with spoilers and stuff, but the basic premise is Jake lives with his newfound family formed on Pandora. A familiar threat returns to finish what was previously started. Jake must work with Neytiri and the army of the Na'vi raised to protect their home. Except now they're working with the sea people, as they're called, I believe, in this movie. Hence the way of water. They're no longer in the trees. Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Kate Winslet, Joel David Moore, Edie Falco, Giovanni Ribisi. They're all back. In some fashion, they're all back. And Cameron spent 12 years working on this in some regard. It's visually stunning. It really is. He nails that always. James Cameron is just, he's on top of his game. Always. As much as he's such a douche when you hear him talk, and he's just such a big dick when he's in his interviews. But overall, the man makes good goddamn movies. So I don't want to see it because you're just rubbing me the wrong way with everything you say bad about any movie nowadays. Let me attack Marvel. Let me attack this. Come on. Oh, this movie has to be the third highest grossing movie minimum in order to make my nut. Why do you gotta say these things? Why? It's gonna be. It's probably gonna be number 2 at least. I don't know if it'll beat Avatar, the first one, just because of how streaming works now. I don't know. Because I had this conversation with someone else. Disney wasn't involved with Avatar number 1. It is with number 2. And Disney has a proclamation out about 45 days, everything goes to the streaming service. Does that count for Avatar? Does it? I don't know. But yeah, we follow back to the movie. We follow Jake, and the war on Pandora is commencing yet again for a different mineral, different element this time, not unobtainium, which, goddamn, it always makes me laugh that of all the names you could have called that thing, you call it unobtainium. It doesn't matter. It's a moot point in the end. Who cares what it's called? It's not really the focus of the story. So yeah, the Sky people are back. They're waging the war again. It's very personal for Jake because he's got the family now, so he decides to basically go into exile with the family, run away, hide, survive instead of fight. That's the story. And it goes awry from there, folks. Just goes awry. He's got 2 sons and 2 daughters. They have some spoilers. I'm just going to say it now. Turn it off now. Spoilers are coming. It's hard to avoid when talking about it, so spoilers may appear. So I'll give you a count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's on you now if you get mad at me. But yeah, it's Grace's avatar was pregnant and had a kid even though she was dead. and they adopted her. Strange. They don't really explain that. There's some hints at what's going on there with human character that's on Pandora, the human kid that's running around with them. There's some subtle hints. But this is the writing is like James Cameron's writing. He's such a good storyteller that the writing kind of gets passed. Like it's like okay, because it can be really cheesy, like real cheesy. Some of the stuff that comes out, like the dialogue wise and stuff, it's just like super cheesy. Like, trying to think. Yeah, it's like you kind of got like when they're talking in the Na'vi language with whatever in the movie. It's almost the back and forth, and you're just like, wow, that was cheesy. And then like the bad guys and their little catchphrase, it's like, wow, 80s cheese right there. But it gets overlooked because the story's so damn good, so damn just told so damn well. You just overlook the cheese. Like Titanic's like cheese galore, and I think he won an Oscar for it. I don't remember if he won an Oscar for the first Avatar for writing. He won it for directing. Same with Titanic. He'll probably win this one. Just unless he was too much of a dick. I don't know. But there's visual storytelling. Like there's one scene in particular where one of the sons has literal blood on his hands, and like you don't like they don't mention it. They don't talk about the blood. It's like he's just in the background, blood on his hands, and it's just like that told like how he's feeling. That told part of the story, like a huge momentous part right there. And it was just like a quick little shot of his hands covered in blood, and it's like the blood's on his hands. Like, and there's lots of the special effects, CGI specifically, doesn't seem to have improved as much as you would have thought. And it's definitely slightly better. Definitely that. I can't say it's monumentally better, but it's still so visually stunning that you overlook it. The special effects, he has some practical ones in there, as James Cameron likes to do. There's a lot of flood scenes where you can tell they're filming it live, and you're just watching these poor extras and actors get just beat to shit. And I laughed at that because I'm like, I know they're like, we couldn't have done this in freaking post. Like, gotta get blasted in the face by a fire hose. Oh, man. A little long in the tooth, running time-wise. I know that was a hot button issue for Mr. Cameron because he compared it to binge watching and how all of us will effing watch 12 episodes in a row, but we can't sit through a 3.5 hour movie. I had no problem sitting through it, but just as a critique, there was a good 45 minutes at least that you could have been like, did we need it? Did we really need that extra shot that lasted 10 minutes? Like, yeah, probably. But it's just like the visuals he just embarked on and gave us. You just can't match it. He recreated some of the stuff from the first one. You see that again. And then he did a lot of new stuff because they're underwater. There's a lot of underwater stuff. There's a lot of practical underwater scenes where he demanded cameras and stuff be invented so he could film them underwater. So it's like it's amazing to me that happens. Like they just don't use what's available. They're inventing things that aren't there to make these movies, and it pays off. I mean, the long story, like I think a lot of the story, like in the beginning, was like, okay, I got to catch you up on 12 years. I don't want to just have people tell you because show don't tell is always better. It is. So there's a